Alright YouTube, so we are back to talk about some more Final Fantasy VII Remake, and in this video I want to talk about why the game being Midgar Only is a good thing in my opinion, and why it's got me hyped. But before we hop into the video, at the end of our video yesterday I actually shouted out the channel about how we're trying to hit 12,000 subscribers before the end of the year, and I'll be damned if we didn't gain like 30 subscribers already. I'm not one of those channels that tries to get you to like, comment, subscribe before the video even gets started, but we're trying to hit this particular goal within the next few days. It'd be pretty damn awesome if we can. Anyways, onto the video at hand. I did a video like 2 years ago where I talked about 7 things I want to see from Final Fantasy VII Remake. And in that video, one of the things I mentioned is that I want Midgar to feel like an actual city. I've always used GTA as a comparison, which isn't the best comparison because it's a completely different style of game. But usually with the Grand Theft Auto series, the city feels pretty alive, right? As much as a video game can, usually.
Yeah, suck my dick!
Which, of course, the original game was nothing like that. We didn't really have a realistic feeling world outside of the overworld, which was actually a 3D environment you got to walk around, but the rest of the game is just pre-rendered backgrounds that your character just kind of walks on top of. And one of the main things I wanted from the remake project was to have Midgar actually feel like a gigantic, massive industrial city, and with the game being Midgar only, they can actually do that. They can actually focus on just the city. They don't have to develop anything outside of the city. As in, they don't have to focus on building anything outside of the walls of Midgar. They don't have to focus on building any of the assets or locations that are in the world of Gaia. So let's just do a hypothetical here. Let's say, for example, that the first game maybe went all the way up to the point of Junon, right? They would then have to rebuild Calm, the Chocobo Farm, the swamp for the Midgar Zalm would probably be its own location, then the Mithril Mines, then Fort Condor, then Junon itself. They'd have to recreate all these locations to scale with what a modern game, what you'd expect from a modern game, and then all the area in between that, from Midgar to Junon itself, the open world, the overworld, would then have to be to scale of a modern game as well. Midgar would inevitably suffer because of that. But with this game being set just inside of Midgar, they can focus on making this city as big as it possibly can be. Which I think the city is deserving. Midgar is probably one of the most popular locations in cities within the franchise, but even gaming as a whole. For all the things I love about the original game of Final Fantasy VII, it did not do the city or location of Midgar justice by any stretch of the imagination. In the original game, we have just a handful of locations above and below the plate, and they're hardly even locations. For example, Sector 1. All it is 2 screens. It's the platform when we hop off the train, and it's the area right before we go into the Sector 8 reactor. That's Sector 1 in Final Fantasy VII. And the vast majority of Midgar in the original game is just the slums area of Midgar. It's not even the above plate sector. There's a lot of the top of the plate in the original game that we never got to see. And if we hop back to this list really quickly, you'll notice some stuff missing. Sector 2, 3, and 4. We've never seen them. At all. The only interaction we have with Sector 4 in the original game is the train tunnels we walk through whenever we hop off the train going to the Sector 5 reactor. That's technically Sector 4, though we're not seeing it above the plate or even the slums of Sector 4. We also got to see an okay amount of Sector 8 in the original game, which is really our extent of the upper plate outside of the Shinra building and aerial shots of Midgar, but again, we don't get to really walk around and see the other sectors. And that's exactly what has me excited about the game being Midgar only. I know a lot of people want the full FF7 story, they want to get outside of Midgar and explore the overworld, but me as a fan of, a lifelong fan really, of Final Fantasy VII, I've always wondered what the rest of Midgar looks like, and that's what has me excited. I want to explore all of this city. Like I mentioned previously, we've never, in any media for Final Fantasy VII in the 20 plus years this game has existed, in all the extended universe of games and movies and animes and all that other stuff, we've never even seen Sector 2 or 3 or 4. Like, we don't even know what that looks like. It's brand new entirely. And then all the slums areas we've never seen. I get one to explore the overworld, but how can that not excite you as a fan of Final Fantasy VII? How can you not want to explore every street and alleyway of Midgar? Like, how do you not want that for this iconic city? Also, one of the main benefits to them hopefully entirely fleshing out Midgar is brand new story and brand new characters, which I'm absolutely looking forward to. Like, imagine if we get to a point in the story in this game where we have to go to Sector 2 for something. We know that everything we're about to witness is entirely brand new, because we've never been to Sector 2 ever. I know some people are put off by the idea of new story and new characters, but as long as we have the original characters still in the game and pretty much the main part of the story is still intact, I'm fine with them doing new stuff. And the other big benefit to this first game being Midgar only is that with the subsequent sequels, they can actually focus on making the overworld as big and as good as possible. With this game ending with us escaping Midgar according to the story synopsis, similar to the ending of the original game's Midgar segment, we should start up the second game already exploring the overworld. So by having Midgar be its own game and kind of cut off from the rest of the world of Gaia, that allows us, instead of having an okay to good Midgar and an okay to good explorable world, we can have a badass Midgar in one game, and then the rest of the games can have badass explorable worlds. And to be honest, the Midgar segment is a damn good story in and of itself. We're spending all this time, trying to take down Shinra, destroy mock reactors, this, that, and the other, and then the Midgar segment ends with us realizing there's a much bigger story on the horizon, because Sephiroth is still alive. So to kind of wrap it all up, what I'm looking forward to the most when it comes to this first game for FF7 Remake is just exploring Midgar, man. The story and the gameplay are obviously very important, but I just love exploring worlds and games, just soaking in the environment. I think once the entire remake project is done and people look back on it, they'll realize that it was a good decision to break it into multiple parts and also have Midgar be its own game, because the rest of the world of Gaia will be better because of it. But that's my take on it. That's my opinion. I pass it off to you guys in the comment section. What are your thoughts on this? Okay, we are just about 2 months away from this game finally being in our hands. What are your thoughts this close to release of the game being Midgar only? Leave your thoughts and more in the comment section below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and want to stay updated with more Final Fantasy VII Remake content. Turn on notifications. Follow me on Twitter @TheDashingDavid. I'm my Discord. Links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys.
Hold on to that hatred.
Give me forever for a while, give me forever for a while. Quit acting like a baby, or at least less like a child. Give me serenity, or at least just peace.